I can't imagine if you have these kind of worldviews, what that must do for your dating life. Like, are you just like, baby, you're only into me because right now I think you're ovulating. I haven't been tracking or charting your course quite a bit, but I will be, you know, and trust me, I do it with all my relationships. But based on, you know, your moon's blood, I believe you're now more attracted to me. But then otherwise you'll be looking for a father figure. But don't worry, I will adapt, all right? I understand the deal that's going on here. Welcome to the world of more plates, more dates, where you can find a range of articles, some of which might be even a little TOS-y, and of course, you know, links to selling Gorilla Mode Stim pre-workout formula, the truth behind equipoise, boldenone, I'm not entirely sure what that is. It is a aromatase into estradiol or act as a aromatase inhibitor. Oh, hey, Chico. He finally decided to become part of the show. Look how beautiful he is. Chico, look how beautiful you are. Yeah, things like anadrol dosages, 50 milligrams with 100 milligrams. There's also, of course, stuff on looking good. We got this. Mewing while exercising and sleeping. I'm not entirely sure what mewing is. Guess this some stuff I gotta learn. Chest bra, hair loss after steroids, before and after. Crazy fat loss, face transformation, 25% to 5% face body fat. Oh, but then there's men's winter style guide. That's good. I think, you know, being interested in fashion, there's nothing wrong with that. There is some reviews of kratom. If you're not familiar with kratom, it is a powerful drug. It has effects similar to opioids, and it is kind of one of those things that's in the gray area of legality. So I suppose reviews of kratom on the website certainly would, you know, skirt the grounds of, you know, that kind of stuff. There's also stuff about performance-enhancing drugs, you know, for male vitality, stuff of that as well. Oh, and male enhancements. A Bathmate Hydromax review and results of penis pumps, the 8-year update, the best penis extender device, the phallosan forte review, how to increase your penis size without the pumps, stretchers, or manual exercises. I'm sure that is also important. I would like to state at this point that there isn't a non-surgical way to increase the size of your penis that is really known to medical science at this point. So the idea of you know, selling people on the idea of stretchers and manual exercises, please, if you are going to be entering this section of the internet, do not buy anything that could seriously injure your penis. You know, I'm saying this to everyone with a penis, you know, guys, gals, and pals. If you have a penis, I would not turn to the internet and more plates and more dates as a primary source on enlarging said organ, to say the least. But the phallosan forte review, it is a penis extender that is used to increase overall penis size, improve penile blood flow and circulation, to treat diseases as well. You can order online now. I'm sure that there's no affiliate link being used here because this is just really about helping out the fellas. What size gains can you expect from the phallosan forte? There are several anecdotal odds that can be found online. There was one notable clinical study that assessed the progress that can be made with the phallosan forte within 6 months, and there were 36 tenths. So after 3 months, an increase in size of 3.5 centimeters. After 6 months, an increase in size of 4.9 centimeters. Erect size 3.8 to 4.8. Girth increase, even girth, 1.4 to 2.5. Goddamn. The average result of all test patients increased in length at non-erect and erect stage, says science. The highest results achieved after 6 months in length and non-erect penis stage was 4.9 centimeters. The highest results achieved after 6 months of girth and non-erect and erect stage was 2.5 centimeters. This was achieved within only 6 months of wearing the device for 9 hours a day. Achievable almost entirely while wearing it during sleep. That sounds like a sound sleep at night, you know, because definitely want to go to bed with a mechanicized device stretching my dick. Oh, time for just a casual little nap here. Vroom, 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 vroom. That sounds fantastic. 9 hours a day. Length gain results for wearing the device for 6 months, 6 hours a day, 5 days per week. Girth gain results for wearing the device for 6 months, 6 hours a day, 5. Who has 6 hours a day every day to have a robot stretching your dick? You know, this doesn't sound like a calming result. And the shitty thing is, like, I know in like, you know, mainstream culture, there's this absolute push and, you know, mythification of huge dicks, you know, and like, as a size queen myself, I'm not saying that like we're not all privy to the whole thing. My results coincided with the average group, but I feel bad for people who are going to see this article and I guess read it as anything other than a grifting fucking sales pitch for an affiliate link that he no doubt has with this penis enhancement, and start taking it as like actual advice in how to improve the size of their penises. Ultimately, with longer and more frequent you can wear this device, the more growth potential you will have. Much like bodybuilding, penis enhancement is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes consistency and committed to see big results. Obviously, the growth potential is much higher if you wear this device for years, coupled with effective PE activities like bathmate pumping, manual stretching, jelking. This is the easiest form of PE, although it has literally no time commitment necessary. What? 6 hours a day is what you're suggesting, sometimes 9 hours a day. You need to strap the thing on and go about your life. So you're just gonna head on down to the bank to cash a couple checks. You know, it's like vroom, vroom, vroom. No, bro. Obviously, this is for private use in your house. Okay, I'm just saying, for 6 hours a day while you're getting your pump on in the weight room, you also want to get your pump on down there. So, you know, go about your day, calmly cook a couple of vegetables. Hey, if you have a hot date, it might be a good conversation starter. It's like, hey, why is it that your crotch is moving with some mechanical device down there? It's like, oh no, that's just my penis extender. Yes, I have to wear it for about 6 to 9 hours a day. But if I do that, I'm going to increase for you, baby, approximately 3.5 to 4.8 centimeters. So that's what we're working with down here. Soon to be working with more, if you catch my drift. The large penis enhancement solution for lazy guys. You know, I don't want to put a lot of focus into increasing the size of my dick. Is there a solution for me? I'm really looking for a passive dick increaser. That's kind of like, I've got a lot of things going on, okay? I'm a busy guy. I can't spend 6 to 9 hours a day jelking my cock. So maybe I can get a passive penis enhancer. Is there a market for this? Oh, absolutely. No, we got you covered. If you've delved into penis enlargement, you probably have come to realize that truly to get fantastic results, a significant amount of time must be dedicated to it. Penis enlargement is a marathon, not a sprint, and it works for much like bodybuilding does, in the sense your penis is not a muscle, everybody, okay? I would like to stress this, please. Like, jokes aside, there is no non-surgical way that is demonstrated to have a permanent increase in size to your penis. It is not a muscle, okay? It fills up with blood. You can damage that very easily if you are tearing or pulling or using mechanical devices to try and stretch the size of your dick in hopes that you will increase its size. I'm saying this as a PSA for all of you. Please do not turn to more plates, more dates for medical information on how to increase your penis size, all right? One of the absolute ways to get substantial length gain is via manual stretching. However, it can take up to a huge chunk of your time several days to week to stay dedicated to manual stretching routine that will equate the worthwhile size gains. This is where penis extender becomes a very attractive alternative. By using the extender, you can continuously keep the penis in a stretched position. That sounds horrifying. With an adequate amount of tension to stimulate maximum growth for several hours on end without having to dedicate a single minute to any stretching. This is because the extender does all the work for you, keeping you stretching all day long, however many hours it decided to keep you on it, while you go about your daily activities, uninterrupted without having to waste your precious time on pulling on your Johnson. Yes, you can have a robot do it for you. What a time to be alive, you know? The main pitfall of most penis extenders is that they place the penis in a restrictive position, where getting an erection or moving in particular ways will cause severe restrictions of blood flow. While this is manageable in the daytime, as adjustments can be made on the fly, you gotta be really dedicated to this, it presents a huge danger if you're wishing to wear your extender while you sleep, while other extenders you cannot wear while you sleep, or else you have to cause injury to yourself. The phallosan forte is unique in that it's the first penis extender that you can wear safely while you sleep. This is huge! Choice of words intended. For guys who don't want to walk all day with an extender hanging off their body. I don't know how you could have a calming sleep if you have this thing just stretching your dick. Prior to discovering the phallosan forte, I actually bought a couple of other penis extenders, and they worked fairly well, but the main issue with them is that they were much more uncomfortable, and that I was forced to wear them throughout the day when I was active and moving around, which is an inconvenience many times. The phallosan is not only more comfortable than other top extenders, but it can be worn while you sleep. I sleep 8 to 10 hours a day, so simply wearing the device throughout the night provides sufficient enough to produce some great size gains. Check out the comparison charts to compare the benefits of the phallosan forte to all other popular extenders on the market. Available authentic clinical study. Yes. Use of medical silicone. Yes. Available in pharmacies. Yes. Possible risk of strangulation. No. Extra bonuses worth over the $75 US. Recommended by doctors. By a leading urologist. Customer support. Platinum support. Increase after 6 months. 1.9 increase, baby. Increase in girth after 6 months. 1 inch increase, baby. Paid by health insurance. Yes. Really? Can be worn at night. Allergen-free materials. Using metal telescopes. Oh, all right. Not one of those other ones that use metal telescopes. Come on, not these wild, unscientific devices. Invisible beneath cloth. Invisible beneath. As I wear my loincloth in the mornings, I didn't want the madams to notice that I happen to have a penis extender working in high fashion underneath me. And comfortable. Yes. Integrated traction measurement. Yes. 2-year warranty. Hell yes. International valid patented system. Yes. Look at these fucking posers. No. Non-applicable. Available authentic clinical study. You keep saying that. Use of medical silicone. Anti-allergic. Available in pharmacies. Risk of strangulation. Oh, is this just the same thing looped twice? Looped 3 times. 4 times. 5 times. Okay. Wow, they really want to hammer these points home. If you didn't notice it, I put it on 5 times, bro. 5 times. Did you not get the point? Other phallosan forte reviews. Comment, this is a much buy product for all men wanting bigger, fuller, harder penises. I'm going to write a longer, more helpful review later, but I just want to quickly share my experience. I went from a 6-inch average girth to 7.5 inches, more than the average girth at 3 months of daily use. I wear it at night and wrap my penis with a sock to prevent any discomfort. This device also corrected my curved penis issue. This product is truly a lifesaver, and wow, what a top-notch customer service. I love you guys. I will be uploading pictures soon. Comment, I've only used it for 300 hours now, and I couldn't be happier. Gained 2 centimeters, and my erections are rock solid, by far the best device on the market. Only downside is the sleeves break easily, but with good care they can last pretty long. I recommend it to anyone. Just throw that in there so people know that it's a real review. Hey, I'm not like the other fake reviews, okay? I pointed out something that is a little off. When I first started using phallosan 2 years ago, I was keeping pretty good records of some pretty good gains over several months of use. There are some issues which lead me to stop for a while and lost most of my records due to computer programs. I've just started again and found my initial measurements, and I have to say that this method works. My first measurement was stretching from pubic bone was pubic bone, sorry, 19.1 centimeters is now 26 or 23 point. Come on, this is America. No one's gonna understand what you're talking about. What is this fucking gibberish? From memory, before I stopped 6 months before, I was over 24 centimeters. Many people will want to tell you the products don't work, but yes, they do. Happy, hung customer. I have bought almost every device on the market during the last 10 years in order to enlarge my penis. It was obvious that stretching it is the way to go about it, but the problem, why are you including all these reviews by other people in this non-impartial review that you yourself have been making about this? I have worn it for approximately 10 hours a day. Before that, I used it 2-3 hours a day. It will be no problem. I'm already thicker and happier. Thank you for making this wonderful product. I'm super happy so far. You can see me suddenly changing my tone of voice. So let's look up trans sports. And what articles are present? The Anabolic Steroid Family Tree, a framework that simplifies how different steroids impact muscle building and performance. All right, so this is probably the closest thing, right? Gorilla Mode Nitric Stimulant Free Pre-Workout Review. A podcast with Chris. Reacting and analyzing Dennis Newman's steroid cycle in the 90s. Reacting and analyzing Lee Priest's steroid cycle in the 90s. Cartering results, clinical trials, and reviews. So in this one, the Anabolic Steroid Family Tree, a framework that simplifies how different steroids impact muscle building and performance. The Anabolic Steroid Family Tree is a framework that simplifies how they work, testosterone and its derivatives, reportedly the anabolic steroids. A whole video on it, how anabolic steroids enhance muscle development. So I would assume, and people have told me already, that there's much more channels on, there's much more videos on his channel about this particular topic than, say, just this one. I, off the top of my head, do not have the science and data and knowledge necessary to debunk in real time what I'm sure will be an absolute spectacle. I don't know if anyone else has already in their videos on this guy's particular takes on this topic. I'm sure that that some exist at this point. It maybe have to be something that one does a deep dive on to truly understand where he's coming from. My initial statement and impression would still be that I would agree with the vast majority of the scientific community on this topic, especially the Olympic committee that has overseen this and has allowed trans people to perform in sports, rather than the guy who has a review of a penis enlargement device that is nothing short of just a grifting spectacle, where he's trying to sell his affiliate link and put in all this other shady stuff. I'm not even here to shit on someone who wants to make a website about topics related to men's looks, topics related to things that concern men that they're very self-conscious about that aren't talked about in real life. I mean, if you do have problems of a medical nature, like a micropenis or something like that, it's something that I would suggest talking to a doctor about, not going online trying to find solutions, because you're going to wind into grifters like this who are going to try and sell you penis enlargement devices that could damage your penis in the process. Not to mention, again, there is not a non-surgical method for enlarging your penis that currently exists in like a peer-reviewed sense. I mean, anything else is just people trying to sell you penis pumps. That's what they're trying to sell you. They're trying to sell you their penis pumps. That's why they talk about these kind of things. And I'm not also here to talk about his reviews of kratom or anyone who wants to take that or other enhancements. I will say, as someone who has had friends who have taken anabolic steroids during the course of their lives, I wouldn't recommend anybody takes that kind of stuff unless it's under the supervision of a doctor for a medical condition. It is incredibly damaging to your heart. Whatever gains you're going to make through the process. I mean, I'm just speaking from my personal taste. I think people who look to be roided out are just frightening looking. It's not like, holy shit, that's sexy. You've got veins popping out of places I didn't know veins could pop out. It's new veins. But just speaking from a complete personal experience, Andy, my friends, one of whom is actually passed away now, and it wasn't a direct result of just doing steroids. It was a direct result of abusing a handful of substances. But the steroids do have incredibly damaging effects on your heart, and in the long term, if you are someone who does other things like smoke or drink, they can have catastrophic effects. People should be taking human growth hormone or things like that under the supervision of a doctor, because they are trying to help or treat a medical condition. It's not something you should be taking strictly to do this. And I'm not, again, trying to shit on people who want to stay and get fit. I go to the gym myself, or just work out at home or whatever it is. I would tell you that going a natural route is most likely going to be way more beneficial to you, because at the end of the day, it is what your body was designed to do. Like, exercise is a good thing. Exercise is a healthy thing. But if you have gotten to a point where the self-confidence of wanting to appear as large as possible is drifting you towards taking things like steroids to achieve that, then you also have to be completely self-aware of the health risks that are going to be present in doing something like that. Especially if the steroids are black market ones. There's many anabolic steroids commonly used by muscle builders that are not approved for human use, and they're very dangerous. Oh, Jesus. If you look up Derek's video on birth control, it's actually incel bullshit. Oh, really? What does he say about birth control? But anyways, this, again, I'm sorry to poison the well. I'm sure people would accuse me of, but this is the go-to source that Joe Rogan for the first time dropped when he said, you want to learn about, these issues, please check out More Plates, More Dates. And I mean, he said it almost as if like it's an old domain he made a long time ago. He's changed since then. No, I mean, this website is basically just kind of like bro shit,
want to represent. For example, there's a lot of research I came across by accident recently that shows that women seem to have specifically two preferences in men. They have two different men that they like depending on the time of the month. In normal days, in surveys...
Depending on the time of the month. Well, I mean, I've been studying a few scientific documents that have shown, depending on the moon's blood, we can actually choose which type of personality women are into. And I've also learned that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. So it's all coming together, baby.
when they show them different pictures of men or descriptions of men, this is consistently shown over decades. Women will often pick a man who is more masculine seeming, like a longer beard, something like that, but less attractive. And they'll pick a guy who seems basically more stable, somebody who might be a better father figure or a more reliable guy, and so on. During their ovulation, they're much more likely to pick a man who they deem as more attractive. And
holy shit. Are you serious? This is Joe Rogan's fucking medical minds at work here.
They will specifically note that more attractive man, who's also doesn't have a beard but more facially masculine. Facial masculinization and beard apparently represent different things, but the facial masculinization. So basically, they pick the alpha male to have sex with in ovulation, and they specifically take.
I can't imagine if you have these kind of worldviews, what that must do for your dating life. Like, are you just like, baby, you're only into me because right now I think you're ovulating. I haven't been tracking or charting your course quite a bit, but I will be, and trust me, I do it with all my relationships. But based on, your moon's blood, I believe you're now more attracted to me. But then otherwise you'll be looking for a father figure. But don't worry, I will adapt, all right? I understand the deal that's going on here. Check the description. They gave 0 sources. Well, not 0. There are some affiliate links to get the best hair loss prevention shampoo. Oh, and Gorilla Mind. Fuck, making more stuff here. The Gorilla Mindset. Great. Awesome. Muscle diet for complete growth. Skincare products. It sucks that this, like, again, these are the kind of people who corner the market for this kind of shit.
We don't want a long-term relationship, and they don't pick that guy when they ask in other times of the month. Have you heard of this?
Do what's even more interesting than that, and is exactly in line with that, is the difference in female preference of partner when they're on combined oral contraceptives versus off of them. It's the equivalent where you have, when they're ovulating versus not, you have this disparity in what they prefer in terms of alpha versus like a provider / like somebody who's a stable choice. When they're on combined oral contraceptives like progestin plus estradiol synthetic to castrate themselves, essentially, they find their preference in male is different than
to castrate themselves, essentially. So while the women are castrating themselves, they go for the betas, but when they're not castrating themselves, they go for the alphas. Science has shown us this.
And they're off of it to a point where the literature almost suggests that, because a lot of these girls don't come off their oral contraceptives, they're on it for years on end, and they meet their partners on it.
Most
that you may
estradiol
otherwise
is
have
synthetic.
a difference in preference had you not have met that person when you were on the combined oral contraceptive. So it's very interesting where their preference leans far more towards that, like that alpha preference you get during the ovulation thing. It's not, you don't have that when you're like manually preventing yourself from.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, the theory being proposed by the prominent members of the scientific community here are that when a woman is ovulating, she is looking to be impregnated. So at that moment, she will be looking for the hunter-gatherer provider, and she will instinctually be drawn towards them. However, when she castrates herself by taking contraceptives, she then starts to look for other kinds of partners, ones who perhaps don't meet those needs. So that's when they will be going for the betas. Yes.
Having your ovulatory cycle, right? Because a lot of girls don't come off and go on the placebo pill or anything. They just stay on and never bleed. And that's like the whole goal of staying on it all the time. So they end up in this like perpetual state of.
They never bleed. What do you think birth control does? What the fuck?
Artificially induced preference of like provider male. Sort of thing.
Oh, no, they come off and for
because of the
kids,
progesterone,
and then their preference changes. Ooh.
What? They still have periods. What the fuck are you talking about? They take birth control and then it just stops. What? Joe, this your boy? Joe, get your boy. He's spouting nonsense.
That's because of the progesterone, right? Because the estrogen peaks during the ovulation. I think the estrogen is the driving one for alpha.
I think it's the progestogenic activity, but also the fact that your free test levels when you're on these oral contraceptives drops by like 70%. Yeah. So you're almost on like a fucking decacycle essentially with a minimal amount of androgenic activity. So it's like the equivalent of you being like, if you're a hypogonadal guy, your preference of women versus when your test levels are at 900. Like you're probably going to be a bit different in terms of how you behave, just like a woman will when she has like her fucking androgenic activity is dictated by
There is
like
okay, I'm being corrected in real time. There's birth control you can use that can stop your periods. I didn't have one for 3 years, but it's the one that you install. See, my experience with partners who have taken birth control is that there is a method. I mean, when you stop taking the birth control, obviously your cycles are going to change, but there are also, like, you know, the sugar pills or whatever you want to call them in the packs, and that you still will ovulate. Like, it's not as if it shuts down the process entirely.
some microgram quantity of levonorgestrel versus, you know, a full 60 nanogram per deciliter total test level. It's a lot
there's
different.
a break in the pack.
Absolutely. And my wife has super physiological amounts of tests, not from exogenous, but naturally produced.
Yeah.
No, so she took like
But then why would, like, I think he's just trying to characterize the entire thing as if, like, women, he's using a lot of weird terms here. I guess this is red pill shit, right? He's talking about how women castrate themselves through this process. They completely cease to have periods, and because of that, they no longer search for the hunter-gatherer alpha males that they all are. So this, I guess, is a problem to them.
birth control for a month, and it just wrecked her. You know, she became insecure and hungry and over analyzing things. So we took that out after a month of, maybe the first month that we got into a relationship. And then I switched her over to a Paragard, which is an IUD with copper. I think she's on the second one now, or third one. And yeah, that's infinitely better. I would recommend that for all competitors. I think
How does that work? Through which is it just a long acting?
it releases a little bit of copper in the uterus, which then prevents the egg from nesting.
Oh, okay.
So the egg can get fertilized, but it doesn't nest. And then, of course, you need to take the copper IUD out a couple months before you actually want to get pregnant.
No, it's like an IUD works that it's implanted in you, and then as a result of that, it prevents you from getting impregnation, because you're not going to have the same cycle that you did before. You still have periods that they still occur. It doesn't release amounts of copper into your body to prevent you from getting pregnant.
Not that my fertility is stellar right now, but so that's
Not that my fertility is stellar. They probably get their sperm counts measured on a regular. I just realized that. Yeah, so what's your count, bro? Oh yeah, we're doing good. I'm high.
a method of contraceptive, and you don't get any adverse effects from having any additional hormones in your system. So it makes fat loss easier. You don't get this increased hunger, no insecurity or mood changes. The downside is that you have an additional.
All right, let's learn together. How does an IUD work? IUDs are trending, and they're slowly becoming one of those popular forms of birth control in America. And I'm also going to say this, by the way, I don't think you should ever restrict people's access to contraception, and you should give give people access to contraception, especially if you're in the weird camp of people who are like, oh, well, abortion is murder and all this kind of stuff. If that is the way you feel, then, like, why would you ever want to restrict access to contraceptive? That being said, there are certainly a lot to be said about how hormonal therapy can affect people. I've had numerous partners who have hated the way that it made them feel to be on birth control, and they have looked for alternatives. And that's a really good time to talk about alternatives that do exist. IUDs are one of them. Many women still wonder, how does an IUD work? We've got all the information you need on IUDs as an effective form of birth control and how to determine if it's the right choice for you. We're also tackling some questions that, well, may be a bit embarrassing. An IUD, or an intrauterine device, is a tiny plastic device about the size of a quarter that we insert into your uterus. There are two categories of IUDs, one that is only copper and another that is releasing hormones. IUDs have a much better track record for preventing pregnancy than other types of birth control. The IUD effectiveness is reflected in the fact that there's less than one pregnancy per 100 women a year who has an IUD. How does it work? Two different types of IUDs work differently. The one that is covered with copper releases copper ions. Oh, okay, so he's not totally talking out of his ass. These ions prevent the sperm from moving and therefore reaching the egg. The hormone-releasing IUDs are coated with a hormone, levonorgestrel, and a type of progesterone. This thins your uterine lining while at the same time thickening your cervical mucus, making it extremely difficult for the sperm to reach your eggs. None of the IUDs cause abortions. How effective is an IUD? IUDs have more than a 99% effective rate, meaning that over the course of the year, 1 out of 100 couples will be using IUD for an unplanned pregnancy. When does an IUD start working? This depends on the type of IUD. There's a copper IUD that works 3 to 4 hours after it is inserted. For hormonal IUDs, you need to wait 7 days for it to be effective. This may also be affected. How long does it last? Again, this depends on the type of IUD. Copper IUDs are effective for 10 years. Wow. The hormone progesterone IUDs can work for up to 6 years, depending on your brand. What is going on with the strings? IUDs have thin strings at the end of them. These strings will be used to remove the IUD when it's time to insert a new one, or when you decide you want to get pregnant. These strings will reach the top of your vagina, that you know the IUD is there. We think it's a good idea to check periodically to see if the IUD is still in place. If not, and you're not sure how to reach them, just let us know. We'll be glad to explain. We're learning things.
Additional copper burden, but a low dose.
And now we're de-learning things.
10 milligrams, 25 milligrams zinc picolinate, which you've been running for the last 10 years or so. Or
he said it's still fertilized. Well, yes. I mean, they can't get everything right. There's only so much the fucking bro panel is gonna know.
8 years that she had the copper IUD. That offsets it right away. So
We
my
should
wife's
mention just as a public service announcement.
Yeah.
If any people here have girlfriends that have the BRCA polymorphisms, they're a group of SNPs that are about 15 to 17 of them. 23andMe only covers about, and you should check it if you're a guy too. They're the major predictor of cancer in men and women. But if you do have like say over 23andMe probably
the birth control is probably
finished, because that's something I would love to help, facilitate getting done. And I know it's going to be near impossible if we're both back on a regular posting schedule. So we should talk about the whole editor thing and the genetic analysis software and stuff like that. Because a lot of people, by the way, for like a year, I don't know, even at this point, sort of been Leo's been slowly chipping away at creating a way to analyze your raw data from, one of these genetic analysis companies. You get your genome, you can get essentially a big printout of all your different, all the SNPs and whatnot that you could get manually identified for genetic predispositions and whatnot, in a way that's way more useful than what 23andMe provides or any of these other companies that are just like, oh, you're 70% more likely to have like a fucking freckle or something, like stuff we don't really care about as much as actual like disease and, health optimization and stuff like that. And that's something I'm very much looking forward to promoting on the channel.
Game, yay, fun.
Being able to offer as a high quality service. And hopefully we have our own genetic or the actual like sequencing kits where we can like get people's, actually collect the DNA ourselves, and that we don't have to work through like 23andMe or something like that. But yeah,
we really shouldn't. To be honest, I was disappointed in 20.
Wait, what? Is he trying to start a genetic collection company?
The other day, my wife had told me that she saw that she had some she had strong blondness. It was either blondness or skin color genetics, one of those two phenotypes. 23andMe shows you some of your phenotypes and then it shows you some health risks. I imagine that at the very least, the blondness or skin color would be a really polygenic calculated thing. They used maybe 20 SNPs or 30, because I don't know if you guys have been watching my videos recently, but I've been doing a lot of things about skin color and hair color and stuff like that, which I'm usually not that into. And when I went and saw the 23andMe, it was literally one SNP. I was like, what? You're telling everybody based on one, there's 40, and the papers are all out. I just don't get it. So it's not just them. It's everybody's sort of like that. I don't really know why. I think in the future, there's going to be advanced modeling, software modeling, where you have the interactive effects of the different SNPs and stuff like that. But for now, just being comprehensive at the very least, so people know. And, at least, because people don't realize, they buy that 23andMe and they say, oh, I didn't get a warning about Alzheimer's. Well, they check only ApoE4. That's one SNP. There's 30 others you don't know about that may really affect your health. And the funny thing is, some people are thinking, no, they checked it for me already. So these things can be really valuable and also actionable.
Hey,
like we're talking about here with
JPLX88, thank you for gifting 2 subs.
But you do get the raw
Nice
data
of
right
you.
from 23andMe, so you can upload that somewhere else and have.
Please thank all the
somebody
gifters.
Yeah,
else.
Prometheus has errors in it. Everyone uploads on Prometheus or Prometheus has errors. Self-decode, the other option, is very uncomprehensive and not up to date.
They seem obsessed with fluids and shit, eh? It's like, hey, by the way, my fertility levels aren't that great right now, but I'm improving on it, and then I'm going to be doing my genetic analysis, and we're going to be going through that as well. And then I also want to create, an alternative database, so we don't have to rely on things like 23andMe, so we can have some kind of, centralized way of charting all of our genes.
check all these websites. Prometheus is not only incorrect in some parts, has errors, includes the wrong alleles, mistakes constantly. This is a free website that's related to snpedia.com. SNpedia doesn't have as many mistakes. I think people edit it more often, but Prometheus, or whatever it's called, the program, errors, also biases. Unusual amount of, for example, Crohn's disease variants.
Thank you.
People go, whenever they go on Prometheus, they're like, oh, I have Crohn's disease stuff. I'm like, no, they just included that.
With the amount, the fastness at which new research is coming out, you would need to have a whole team on top of that 24/7 just to.
They have thousands at 23andMe, but they have thousands of employees, including research scientists. But also they have, suspicious things they do. Like, for example, if you go search online, 23andMe employee whistleblower or something like that, you'll find these old articles where 23andMe, what they used to do is they take your genome, right? And so there's a way you can predict where your ancestry is from. Basically, what it means is this. Every time we mate with a person, we have what's called meiosis. We share, like at each single nucleotide, we take one allele from the father, one from the mother. So if you see large chunks of DNA that are intact, you think that someone shares an ancestry with a certain group. Right? If me and you, Steve, had like one chunk of DNA that's big enough, that's similar, we could think we can inherit it from the same person. Right. So that's basically how the software programs tell you where you're from originally. But the problem is, there's a lot of subjectiveness there, right? So there's an option to, because you take a reference population, which is only like sometimes 1,000 people. And so if depending on where you set the limit, you can see. So what they were doing was telling people that they were American Indian when they weren't. Telling them like they had interesting, you have a little bit of African ancestry, you're a little bit of American and Indian, and or Native American, sorry, and it wasn't true. And as one of the employees outed them. So there's a lot of, even in the ancestry stuff, there's problems.
I think we're still in our infancy when it comes to genetic analysis, and it's going to take another Right?
Fucking weirdos. This is strange. This is a corner of the internet I don't spend a lot of time in. I think we'll be watching more super sociological men. Super sociological men? What? This is how Blood Quantum came about. I mean, they are obsessed with genetics. I didn't expect it to turn into this. Especially to the point where he's like, oh, we actually have to, start our own database. Is that in? More plates? More dates? Oh, shit. The future of health optimization. Welcome to Marek. Expert oversight. Marek partners with hand-picked experts from across the globe who practice evidence-based, patient-centered care and provide high-quality medical supervision for patients without judgment. True health optimization. Our team of medical experts offers unparalleled advanced healthcare that spans an array of specialties, including preventative medicine, hormone replacement, cognitive and athletic longevity, cosmetic anti-aging, fertility optimization. Hey, baby, I'm getting my fertility optimized. PCOS, lipid management, hair loss prevention, skincare, cardiovascular risk assessment, thyroid function, weight loss, and sexual health. I'd like to increase my sexual health. I'd like to get my sperm count up. What can you do? Get my cum seeds. Marek is committed to helping people optimize their health, put men back in their prime, and help women live optimally. Well, that's nice. One thing that sets Marek Health apart from the organizations is that we are dedicated to helping men and women optimize their health. We have an abundance of testing and treatments to optimize female health as well. Live optimally. Nice. Poor libido. Aw, can't click on it. But erectile dysfunction. Oh, God. Test my genes. Was it my ancestor who did this to me? Marek makes treatment simple and convenient. You do an intake questionnaire, bulk consultation. But what's the cost? What are we looking at? For you to take my DNA. Ah, here it is. Fill out your healthcare application and leave a $250 deposit. That's just the deposit. Secure your intake meeting and physical consultation. Meet with patient care coordination via the video conference. Discuss your health goals. We have panels ranging from $450 and go up the way to our own comprehensive panels of $1,000. Hopefully you're making a lot of money, because this sounds like it's going to be a very, very expensive procedure. Send them your fluids. Maybe I should do a fucking fundraiser to get all my fluids sent to Marek so I can do some online consultations with them. Just in there, I was like, all right, I need to talk about increasing my fertility. I'm looking to be bred, do you see? No, I'm not looking to breed. I'm looking to be bred. There's a big difference. It's like, sir, it's not physically possible. We can't possibly breed you. Well, then make it happen, science. Make it happen. I'm looking to be bred. What is wrong with you? What's going on here? Send them fake blood. I should send them Chico's blood. It says you're feral, Lance. You're feral and you might have rabies. We got to talk about that. No, I only want to talk about one topic. Being bred. I really want to be bred. Can we please talk about that?
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback, because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we beseech thee to smite down our enemies. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your humble court jesters, here to amuse you. To our lords, Trevor R., we give thanks for this spit of land for us to eke out this meager existence. To our knights, Merid, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Ellie Leslie, Alex P., Brandon, Words Greenwood, Nate, that one guy, Hagbird Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Coulter Smith, Val 9000, Jenna Tall, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevor Yanis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojack, Saren 42, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramon Acosta, Nkosin, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Political Puppy, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Josh Mickelson, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our flag in a veil, and we salute you, our friends.